Hello friends, welcome back to Rubik's Automate Academy. Now we'll be learning loops. There will be few parts of loops and this is the part 1. Basically loops are used to do repetitive tasks, and if you have missed any of my previous videos, then please do watch them. You can find all the links in the description box, so please do check it out. And if you don't want to miss my future videos, then subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can get the update of when I upload them. And to stay in contact with me, you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter and Facebook. You can find all the details at the end of the video or on my channel. And without wasting any much time, let's get started. There are two types of loops, for loop and while loop. The uses are completely different except one. Both of them are used to perform repetitive tasks. Which one to use depends on the situation or the scenario you are given. You will learn for loop first and then while loop. First, I will teach you what is for loop and its uses. Then I will show you how to use for loops in Python in today's video. If you watched my videos very carefully, then you might have noticed that whenever we execute a code, it only executes one time and then it stops. However, the real life doesn't work this way. Many of the tasks that humans perform are repetitious. For example, the doctor might state that you need to exercise more, and the doctor might give you a suggestion like to do 100 push-ups each day. The push-ups is the activity that you need to repeat 100 times, meaning you are doing the same activity for a number of times. Python allows the same sort of repetition by using the for statement. One difference between for statement and while statement is when you know how many times you need to perform a task, you use for statement. Let's say if you don't know how many times you need to perform a task, that's when you use the while statement. I will cover more of this in the while statement video. Most programming languages call any sort of repeating sequence of events a loop. The idea is to picture the repetition as a circle with the code going around and around executing tasks until the loop ends. Loops are essential part of application elements such as menus. In fact, writing most modern applications without using loops would be impossible. In some cases, you must create loops within loops called nested loops, like nested conditional statements. For example, to create a multiplication table, you use a loop within a loop. The inner loop calculates the column values and the outer loop moves between rows. You will see such of these examples in the future. The first looping code that most developers encounter is the for statement. In this case, the loop executes a fixed number of times and you know the number of times it will execute before the loop even begins. Because everything about a for loop is known at the outset, for loops tend to be the easiest kind of loop to use if you don't know. However, in order to use one, you need to know how many times to execute the loop. A for loop begins with a for statement. The for statement describes how to perform the loop. The Python for loop works through a sequence of some type. It doesn't matter whether the sequence is a series of letters in a string or items within a collection. You can even specify a range of values to use by specifying the range function. This is real Python code and this is how you use for loop in Python. This statement begins with the keyword for. The next item is a variable that holds a single element of a sequence, and this is the thing that confuses so many people. In this case, the variable name is letter. The in keyword tells Python that the sequence comes next. In this case, the sequence is the string howdy, as you see here. The for statement always ends with a colon, just as the decision-making statements or the conditional statements. Indented under the for statement are the tasks you want to perform within the for loop. Python considers every following indented statement part of the code block that composes the for loop. Again, the for loop works just like the decision-making statements. So you can take this as English for each letter in the word howdy. So Python will separate the words, only the letters. So Python will exclude the spaces and this special character like this exclamation point. Then the Python will separate each letter, and for each letter Python will do the task that you provided. The best way to see how a for loop actually works is to create one. So the example I will show you uses a string for the sequence. The for loop processes each of the characters in the string in turn until it runs out of characters. I will use the same example I showed you earlier in this video. So first we'll create a new variable named letter num and we'll assign the value 1 to it. Why I'm doing this I will tell you in a second, but before that let's create a for loop. So first we will use the keyword for, then any variable you would like. I will name it a letter in howdy or any word you would like, then a colon like the conditionals. So this variable you can name it whatever you want. You can say letter or you can just say let or number, but you cannot like use numbers. You can use numbers but only with letters or words. So you can say n1 num1 letter 1, anything you would like. To make this code understandable I will just say letter. So like for each letter in howdy, it makes it easier to understand. Then so as you see here, after I typed the colon and clicked enter, it automatically indents for me, because see whatever I will type here, it tells Python that this code is part of the for loop code block. So for each letter in howdy, for example H, so for that letter H I wanted to print, so I will just show you the code first and then I will explain you. Letter num is, so basically this is going to print letter 1 is H. See currently letter num is 1 as we defined it here, and after running this line of code in Python, the letter, this variable letter holds the value H, because see for each letter in howdy, and it will separate everything in this string, so including numbers, this special characters, words, anything except spaces, as I already told you. So then, and as you already know, now you know what does this do. And next mistake is like this mistake everyone makes it, and like everyone forgets to do one thing, and I will show you what is that. See when we run this, we get this letter 1 is H, which is correct, but then letter 1 is O. That's not correct. Letter 1 is W, letter 1 is D, letter 1 is Y. No, it's because we did not update this variable. So after printing this, I want the letter num's value to be plus equal 1 every time. So what this will do is, so then after moving to O, it will print this. After it does this for the H, it will add a number to the one, so it's now 2. So next time for the letter O, it will print letter 2 is O. See, I will run this and you will understand what I'm talking about. What does it mean? See, now it's correct. Letter 1 is H, letter 2 is O, letter 3 is W, letter 4 is D, etc, etc. So this is how you use for loop, and you can even use the input function to ask a word from the user. It's very simple. We just say word equal input, please enter any word. Simple. And here instead of a string just put word. See, now I will run this. I will put my name, and I said it's working. See, I will also show you like with numbers. So I will just say number 1 2 3. See, it works with numbers as well. Basically, the code begins by creating a variable letter num to track the number of letters that have been processed. Every time the loop completes, letter num is updated by 1. The for statement works through the sequence of letters in the string howdy. It places each letter in turn in letter. The code that follows displays the current letter num value and its associated character found in letter. So friends, this is it for today. Our next video is going to be the part 2 of loops. For loop is continued in that video, meaning we will learn some more features slash functions of loops. So if you don't want to miss that video or my future videos, then subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can get the update when I upload those videos, and hit that like button if you learn something new, and I will see you in that video. Till then, bye bye, have an amazing day.